Those who specifically hated and killed JFK did so to achieve power. And because of the consequences of their success and for how long they held power, we live in a very different world where the meaning of Kennedy's assassination has changed. In fact, in some ways, has been eradicated from relevance. When Robert Fitzgerald Kennedy Jr. subscribed to Israel's Holocaust against the people of Gaza, he doomed Kennedy relations with the people who JFK had once inspired. It is very difficult to go into that challenging history and keep it relevant to the context of a post-Bush, Obama, Clinton, Trump, Biden world. The hostility and the inane mania for anti-Muslim hysteria demolished the Middle East, gave Russia the intellectual advantage, created and empowered BRICS, and alienated Latin America and South America, probably permanently. The power structure that was put into place by the coup d'etat in Dallas, however, does remain and has solidified itself. Rather than being relevant and inspiring, we have decided to call ourselves Zionists. The tragedy of World War II doesn't explain what has happened. Unless you embrace the prospect of an entire plan to avenge the Axis, then it begins to make a little more sense. And what we find in the cinema relief of Kennedy's demise being planned by people in Pentagon Disney is an explanation for the hidden hand power structure that has removed common sense and explanation from the ideological so-called narrative of our society and replaced it with slogans and catcalls against any attempt to reason with it. This is a society that has slided away from the dignity of people trying to preserve the ideals of a schooled, educated, safe public commonwealth. Now, the society that's being created, of course, has certain elements of opposition to it. We have socialist-leaning individuals in large groups of protests, for example, in the movement against Israel's atrocities in Gaza. And we have, by a landslide, a power structure in legacy media, or so-called legacy media, that men like Noam Chomsky like to deride as Kennedy created by JFK himself, as though he would subscribe to the mindlessness at work. What I think Chomsky warps a little bit is the idea that Kennedy would underwrite certain aspects of, like, for example, the embrace of domino theory, underwrite certain aspects of the power structure's mentality to maintain his base of support in a pro-American and zealous approach to national identity. But Chomsky garbles that text and makes Kennedy out to be like Reagan, which is really very deranged when you look at the film The Killers, which has overlaps of what happened in Dallas and was being made at the same time. Meaning the people who made the film The Killers are also the people who were in on the plot to kill JFK, which means that Reagan himself was involved in the plot to kill JFK. And what Bush did with the help of Netanyahu and Obama was to keep me in the dark, making me deaf, making me dependent on a screaming me mother, taking away my pride, my dignity, forcing me into dependence, ridiculing me mercilessly, beating me slaughteringly, and then saying, hey, what's this? And pulling out of the rabbit hat the Texas school book. And that's where we've landed in this nonsense.